Hey everyone, Sebastian here, back again with another question from Bluebook Test 1, Reading and Writing Module 1. This is another command of evidence question. If you saw question 9, you'll see that this is pretty different because that one had no graphs, no charts, and this has a chart, right? So in command of evidence questions, we have either one where we find the evidence in a sentence, right? And we sort of fill in the blank using a sentence they give us or a fragment of a sentence that gives us an argument or a point that helps the argument or hurts it. And then we have these where we read charts or graphs or some sort of data table and use that to fill in a blank. So let's try this one here. Earth's atmosphere is bombarded by cosmic dust originating from several sources. Short period comets, SPCs, particles from the asteroid belt, ASTs, Halley-type comets, HTC, and Oort cloud comets, OCCs. Some of the dust material vaporizes in the atmosphere in a process called ablation, and the faster the particles move, the higher the rate of ablation. Astrophysicist Juan Diego Carrillo Sanchez led a team that calculated average ablation rates for elements in the dust, such as iron and potassium, and showed the material in slower moving SPC or AST dust has a lower rate than the same material in faster moving HTC or OCC dust. For example, whereas the average ablation rate for iron from AST dust is 28%, the average rate for blank, which choice most effectively, uses data from the table to complete the example. Iron from SPC dust is 20%, sodium from OCC dust is 100%, iron from HTC dust is 90%, and sodium from AST dust is 75%. Okay, so we want to know how to complete the example, so we want to be supporting what they're saying here, right? So they're making an example here, for example. And this example is going to be supporting the part that came before, right? So this part here. Calculated that average ablation rates for elements in the dust, such as iron and potassium, and showed that material in slower moving SPC or AST has a lower rate than same material in faster moving HPC dust or OCC dust. Okay, so this question does a classic SAT thing, right? If you've seen my other videos, you already know. They use terms that we're not meant to know, that we haven't heard about. And then in this one, they use them, and then they use acronyms for them, right? So it's like HTC, AST, OS, OCC, SBC. Who knows what that means? I don't. Do you? It doesn't matter. Because all you need to do is keep track of what they're saying. So basically what they're saying is that ablation rates, right? And ablation, something else I've never heard of, right? Is when the materials vaporizes, right? And the faster the particles move, the higher the rate of ablation, okay? So then SPC and AST is slower, so it has a lower rate than HTC or OCC in the same material, okay? So we look at this chart, right? We see AST, and then we see iron for AST is 28%, okay? And then we're going to be talking about the same material. So I'm guessing we're going to be doing either A or C because that's also iron. So I'm going to put a minus on D and B, and I'm going to put a plus here, right, just to keep track. And then, so they're saying that the average ablation rate for iron from AST dust, and AST dust is low, has a slower rate, right? So it should be lower than the ablation rate in something that's fast moving. So the fast moving is not SPC or AST. AST is the one we already talked about. SPC is also slow moving, so it should be about the same. And you see the 20% there. It's going to be HTC or OCC. So the average rate for iron and HTC dust is 90%. And that ties in with what they're saying, right? That the dust will be ablated, maybe that's the word, at a faster rate and a faster moving thing, right? Dust source. So I don't even know what I'm saying almost, but I know what the answer is because I sort of broke down bit by bit. Okay, I'm thinking iron, potassium, sodium. They say same material, so I'm going to focus on iron. So sodium, probably not right. Then they're telling me this thing called SBC and AST, they have the lower rate. So I'm not going to be comparing them because I want to be comparing a low to a high rate to show the difference. So I already have AST, and I'm going to compare it to something fast like HTC or OCC, and I want to compare to iron. And then the only one that works for that is HTC iron C. Okay, so it's bit by bit this like very incremental thing, right? It's almost mathematical. You take this big concept and you break it down. It's like a question that has multiple steps. You break it down bit by bit. Okay, so I hope this video helped. If you have questions on it, let me know. I'm going to be doing more like this. I think this is a key to really mastering the SAT reading and writing is knowing how to do questions like this because they're going to come up, they're going to be hard, and with practice and with understanding the process, you can nail it. All right, so I will talk to you all soon. I hope it's sunny where you are, and if it's raining, I hope it's cleaning your windows and watering your plants. Bye.